Grand Rising. I hope everybody had a good holiday. I hope everybody's having a good morning, a positive, productive morning so far today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High help you with that today. I also pray that He clothes us in His armor from head to toe, that He strengthens and guides our steps as we go throughout this day. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I didn't do any videos yesterday just to kind of acknowledge the holiday. We're going to get a chakra affirmation card and light our incense for the day, and then we'll move on to the rest of the affirmations. The weather isn't quite as sunshiny today, but the temperatures are still nice, so I hope everybody's having great weather in your area. I saw when I looked online before I came on this morning that seems like the West Coast is getting, oh, look at that. And as I said that, the sun came out. Thank you, Spirit. That the West Coast, California, and areas like that have been having some difficult weather. So I'm sending loads of loving, healing energy to them. Also to anybody who's still in recovery mode from the storms, specifically North Carolina and East Tennessee. I also want to send loving, healing energy to anybody that's dealing with displacement, homelessness, addiction, depression, anxiety, loss of a loved one, health issues. I'm sending you loads of loving, healing energy, hugs, as much as I can through the digital world. That's too many. Can we just get one chakra affirmation for today? We got two. And oddly enough, it's the same chakras, solar plexus and third eye. We got self-discipline and acknowledge spirit. We lit a third eye chakra incense yesterday, so we'll go with the solar plexus today, which is lemongrass. Shout out to Dollar Tree. They have a whole set of these, one for each chakra system. If you don't have a Dollar Tree in your area, you can order them online. You can't beat it. 50 incense sticks for $1.25. Of course, Dollar Tree isn't necessarily the Dollar Tree anymore, but $1.25, you still can't beat it. Lemongrass is a very stimulating kind of scent for me. It smells, has like that outside fresh mowed grass kind of smell. Okay, so self-discipline. My self-discipline and willpower will significantly help me in my efforts to move forward and grow. I am free of the need for the approval of others. I face each challenge with determination and courage, and I am determined to live my life to its full potential. I am strong and capable. My actions speak louder than my words. And then third eye, acknowledge spirit. I trust in a higher source and acknowledge my direct connection with it. In the stillness, I listen for the wisdom inside, and I'm open to the spirituality that is within and all around me. I know that love is the creative force. I meditate and welcome mystical truths. I am open to seeking guidance in my spiritual quest from a spiritual teacher, master, or guru. I've been dealing with some pretty intense heartburn today, so excuse me if I have to stop and take a drink. And also, right before I came on to do the video, my left eye started twitching again. It had pretty much taken a break, but it's back at it again. Oh, and I also saw my red-tailed hawk this morning. Saw her twice this morning, actually. All right, let's get a grief affirmation for the day. Maybe. The reality is you will grieve forever. You will not get over the loss of a loved one. You will learn to live with it. You will heal and you will rebuild yourself around the loss you have suffered. You will be whole again, but you will never be the same. Nor should you be the same, nor would you want to. Elizabeth Ross, I can't really pronounce that second name, but Elizabeth Ross is who that's a quote from. And that's very true. We've talked about it quite a bit here lately, experiencing loss and, learning how to rebuild around that loss, going through the stages of grief that help us learn how to live through the loss. This is typically a difficult time of year for people that have experienced loss, even though, it's never easy no matter what time of year it is. The holidays, especially, is a hard time when we truly feel their, we truly feel the lack of their presence. But if we can become more in touch with our spiritual selves in the spiritual realm, it makes it a little bit easier, to understand that they are with us just in a different way. All right, let's get a prayer card verse of the day. These cards are getting to where they're starting to bend, and for some reason it makes them a little bit harder to shuffle. They're getting broke in. Our God who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Do all that you can to live in peace with everyone. Romans 12:18. Romans 12:18. We'll pull that up in the book. Romans is 239 of the New Testament. 12:18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peacefully with all men, is the specific scripture. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. And it's only got 21 verses, so I'm going to continue to read to the end. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. If in so doing thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Nice. That's a good one for today. All right. Now we'll get affirmation from the Wild Offering Oracle, and then we'll get into the Mary Magdalene. There for a second, I thought the ashes from the incense fell in my coffee cup. Thankfully, it did not. We got love and body on the cut as we're getting started. Look at that. Love popped right back out. True love on the bottom of the deck. Ambition. Intentions. All right. Positivity. Let's get one more. Striving. That's been coming out every day pretty much. All right. We have love. It's not about finding love. You are love itself. Help me, Lord, to send so much compassion and caring to the inner child that I always remember I myself am love. And then positivity. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please, dear God, let me always feel gratitude for something, even a tiny thing, in even the hardest of situations. Every time I see that card, I think of the line from Harry Potter where Dumbledore says, in the darkness, all you have to do is turn on the light. That's not the exact quote, but that's what it makes me think of every time. And then you have striving. Eventually, the individual ego's drive to make things happen falls away, replaced with a relaxed, trusting openness to answers as they arise. Thank you, Divine, for letting me move with the flow. All right. I've been taking a break from making the shorts with the different affirmation cards because they were starting to get a little repetitive. But I will pick back up on that and start creating shorts out of the different affirmations so that you guys can, screenshot them if you want to be able to say them for yourselves. Okay. Now we'll get into the Mary Magdalene. We got the Cave of Eggs on the bottom as we start. I've really enjoyed having these. The messages are deep, but they're also helpful. That is ultimately my goal with anything that I do on this channel, is to not only help myself heal, but to help and encourage others to do the same. Sometimes, especially with these Mary Magdalenes, they can open your eyes to things or perspectives that you may not have seen on your own. That sunshine didn't stay out very long, did it? It's trying. Hopefully it'll make its way out as the day goes along. It's still kind of early. It was a beautiful day yesterday. I got out and walked yesterday. I got 2.2 miles in. Legacy on the bottom of the deck as we start. All right, let's get 3 to line up with our 3 affirmations. The third power, humility is my greatest strength. I don't think we've gotten that one before. Witness, I am fully seen. I think we just got that the other day. We may get an extra one because I think we just got that one. Witness, I am fully seen. Third power, humility is my greatest strength. The third power, that really doesn't have a lot of color in it. Most of these cards typically have some bright, bold colors in it, but that one doesn't really have much color in it at all. It looks like she has like a medallion behind her. Golden light, healing comes from within. Soul work on the bottom of the deck. And Christ on the top, love knows only mercy. All right. Third power. I may end up having to move that incense. Ignorance is our ultimate blind spot. It's the insular thought that we exist somehow as the lead role in a movie the ego is directing. Ignorance is a profound lack of vision. It's an inability to actually see ourselves and the impact of our actions. She's very much in thought, it looks like, in that picture. Almost in a meditation stance or a prayer. There's a powerful exchange between desire and the soul in Mary's gospel. Desire in this dialogue is what the ego craves. It isn't the desire of the soul, it's the unconscious needs of the ego. So, this egoic desire says to the soul in Mary 9:2, quote, I did not see you go down, yet now I see you go up. So why do you lie since you belong to me? And the soul responds, I saw you. You did not see me, nor did you know me. You mistook the garment I wore for my true self, and you did not recognize me. The ego thinks it is the true self, but the ego is actually only the garments or the layers of identity that the ego acquires. What's true is the soul beneath all those egoic desires. What's true is what remains constant even as our egoic desires shift from one need to the next. The way to dismantle ignorance is to see through the constantly shifting desires of the ego. It's to see that the egoic desires are like clouds in the sky, and the soul is the sky itself. We can try to see ignorance for what it is. It's not lasting, it's not permanent. It has the potential to be fleeting. If we have the humility to ask, what is beneath this egoic desire? Humility is our greatest strength. If we can let the garments of the ego fall, we can see ourselves more fully and recognize what's lasting. And if we have the strength to be humble enough to understand what our ignorance is, only to understand that our ignorance is only human, then we get to experience the way that our forgiveness is also divine. The soul voice meditation. What am I ready to see that's deeper than this egoic desire? Sorry, I'm trying to fan that smoke away. So, in a nutshell, it's about knowing the difference between the ego and the soul, being able to recognize that difference, which can be hard sometimes. All right. Witness and the golden light. We're going to go ahead and read Witness, even though I'm pretty sure we just got this not long ago. But maybe we need to hear it again. It almost looks like maybe Mary and Christ. And it looks like it's when she's in the cave and he looks like he's standing on clouds. If you can see, she looks like she's standing on the ground and he looks like he's standing in the clouds. Mary, Christ says when he sees her at the empty tomb. And in hearing her name in his voice, Mary immediately recognizes who is standing before her. Yes, we have gotten this one. Rabbi, Mary exclaims. This word rabbi in ancient Hebrew for teacher. Mary has witnessed Christ's most profound truth. Love is stronger than death. They stand then for a timeless moment together face to face, seeing and being seen. This is the fulfillment of love from 1 Corinthians 13:12, quoting, "For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known." It's a miracle and a mystery what allows one person to truly see another. The reciprocity of this full vision of seeing and being seen by another is sacred and graced. You can't force yourself to see someone entirely for all that they are. It's a moment that exists in soul time. And the reciprocity of this full vision requires that we reveal our truest selves. We can't be fully witnessed by someone, by a beloved, unless we are fully revealing all that we are. It's a rare and holy moment. It's a diamond that's finally made visible after years and years of pressure in the dark. In Sanskrit, the word darshan means to see and be fully seen by God. This form of witnessing perhaps unfolds only when we meet someone we can fully reveal ourselves to. This moment of witnessing is only made possible because of love. It's a love that refuses to look away, a love that remains through the dark and through death. I've often imagined the power of this moment when Mary witnessed Christ's resurrection and when Christ witnessed Mary's embodiment of his love by the fact that she could see him. I've often imagined that everything grew still around them, that nothing could possibly exist as intensely as they did. I've often imagined that the power of their gaze is something we all long for. That glory of truly being known, that glory of hearing your name and seeing love fully incarnate right before you. The soul voice meditation, what aspect of my soul am I ready to witness and reveal? That kind of makes me think about what I was talking about earlier. It was 24:44 on the timer when I looked, when we were talking about the grief affirmation in our loved ones. If we can, instead of seeing with our human eyes, if we can see with our third eye, with the lamp of the soul, our eye of the soul, we can see the spirit of our loved ones. Maybe not obviously physically in front of us, but spiritually within us. They're always with us. That love keeps them with us. even when the physical body has been taken. All right, then we have golden light. Healing comes from within. I don't think we've gotten this one before, but we may have. This looks like an older version. This is an older lady. She's lifted up in an orb of light. We have the power to use our imagination in the effort of healing. If we close our eyes, we can immerse ourselves in an inner apothecary. We can allow the imagination to conjure and create potent images, stories, and messages that feel like a balm for the soul to receive, like a sacred medicine cabinet uniquely made for us that can only come from within. In Toni Morrison's masterpiece, Beloved, she writes, freeing yourself was one thing, claiming ownership of that freed self was another. How do we claim and take responsibility for this self we have freed from the ego? I think we each have to live into the answer for ourselves. For me, my answer is that I claim my freed self by loving myself fiercely. And if not fiercely, then as lovingly as I can in each moment. What does that mean? That means staying conscious and aware of whether or not I'm being merciful with myself. Am I being too hard on myself? Am I allowing harsh judgment, either from my own ego or someone else's, to harm me? It's an essential need to want to take a shower or bathe daily, or at least frequently each week. We often stop short of realizing that our interior landscape is more critical even than how we appear externally. And the most powerful way to cleanse and heal the eternal internal world of our own heart is to bathe ourselves in golden light. Gold is always the color of halos depicted by artists throughout the centuries. Gold is the goal of the ancient alchemists because gold is unalloyed, it's pure, meaning only itself. It's unified one thing. It has been the mythic and material symbol of divine love for centuries because it has the highest value and deepest worth. This is a reminder to use the power of your imagination to take full ownership of your freed self. Close your eyes and allow an otherworldly golden light to surround and suffuse you from the crown of your head down to the soles of your feet. The soul voice meditation. What does it feel like to be bathed in golden light? That makes me think of this golden yellow of the solar plexus chakra, the golden light, the love of our ancestors, the protection of our heavenly family. And when I was reading the part where it said it was like a balm, we can allow the imagination to conjure and create potent images, stories, and messages that feel like a balm from the soul to receive. There is one of our affirmation cards. Um, I'm trying to remember which one it is where it talks about, I think it's gratitude, where it talks about it's a healing balm. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yes, there it is. Third from the top. Find just one thing that you feel grateful for right now and let that gratitude pour through your body. It's like a healing balm, like the warmth of the sun. So, the warmth of the sun, that golden light, that healing balm, there comes the sun shining again. Healing that comes from within. The self discipline to show gratitude, not only to yourself, but acknowledging spirit and the love and gratitude that they can show us and teach us. Humility, humbling yourself to be grateful for even the smallest of things. Let's see what the Christ card says. We did get an extra one. Love knows only mercy. So we got an extra one today. It's crucial for us to remember that Christ was crucified by the Roman Empire. He wanted to turn the unjust power structures of the empire on their head, making the first last and the last first. Christ wanted to free us from the misunderstanding that any one of us had the right to put ourselves above or below another. Christ wanted to free us from the illusion that external forms of power, like wealth and authority, could ever come close to the ultimate power of love that exists within us. It's crucial for us to remember that Christ wasn't Christian. Christianity came hundreds of years after Christ. Christ himself embodied a spiritual practice called kenosis, which in Greek, which is Greek for self-emptying love. When we practice loving someone, even a stranger, a perceived enemy, by emptying out all our egoic ideas about them, we free ourselves and them. We put mercy into practice. Mercy is what love looks like in action. In Mary's gospel, Peter asks Christ, "What is the sin of the world?" And Christ replies, "There is no such thing as sin." Mary chapter 3, verse 3. Christ here is saying that we are not innately sinful. Sin does not exist as an ultimate truth. Sin, according to the Gospel of Mary, is when we mistake the ego for our true self, when we are unable to sense the presence of the soul in the midst of one of the powers of the ego. We then act from that forgetful state. Christ in Mary's Gospel wants us to remember that being human means being an ego. With all the humanity that demands, and the being human also means being a soul. Mary's gospel relates that Christ was the anthropos, meaning the true human being. And this is what he revealed to her we are meant to become also. The true human being has united the ego to the true self, the soul. Even in the midst of the worst of what can unfold in our lives, we have the capacity to return to the limitless love we are also. How can we do this? We have mercy on ourselves. We have mercy on each other. We let love reach where it has never been before. The soul voice meditation. What mercy can I have for myself or someone else in this moment? And that is actually on page 33 in the book. So a lot of these are from Mary, are talking about love for others and love for ourselves. Love was the first card that we got. And showing gratitude is a form of love. So leading with love, leading with the heart, learning to love ourselves as we are in this moment, not what we used to be or what we can be. Loving our lost loved ones, even though they're not here anymore. Loving them for the lessons that they taught us, the things that they continue to teach us, even though they're not with us physically anymore. Letting go of the ego, leading with gratitude, leading with positivity, allowing that gratitude and that love to heal us, being self disciplined enough to show that gratitude, to let go of the ego and to move with the flow of love, the flow of energy. And even our verse of the day spoke of love. Let's read that again. Do all that you can to live in peace with everyone. If it is possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Overcome evil with love. Overcome evil with gratitude, positivity, love. Observe the things that you have in common with people instead of your differences. Now more than ever, that's so important to remember. Being, having that loving energy, even through the hardest of times, leading with love instead of, wrath or vengeance. Because in reality, it's not our place to take vengeance. We're supposed to love each other through. Vengeance is very much of the ego. We want to take things in our own hands. We want to do it our way. And that's very difficult sometimes to push through and stay positive. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light, that golden light, that light of gratitude, that light of love, that healing light that in reality comes from spirit. The spirit within us, the spirit around us. Very important things to remember, especially on the hard days. The days when it's hard to be positive, when it's hard to show gratitude, those are the days when it's most important. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I think that's a very positive message, especially and powerful message for this time of year, especially as we're going into the new year. You know, for a long time now, it's been my belief that making the internal changes, the spiritual changes, are way more important than making the physical changes. Even though the physical changes are important, setting those resolutions as you're thinking about that this time of year, as a lot of people do, try to go inside. Self discipline, practice that internal self discipline. What are some things spiritually, emotionally that we need to work on, that we need to heal, that we need to acknowledge? You know, whether it's anger, depression, laziness, procrastination, whatever that is that, maybe we need to work on. The tiniest of thing, even in the hardest situations, you know, if we can heal the spiritual side of us, a lot of times it makes it easier to do the physical things. And I speak from experience on that one, as I try to do always. If I say it all the time, if we can just take 5 minutes and practice the pause when we get in those moments where our ego kind of carries us away, if you can just pause for 5 minutes and maybe try to see things from the other person's perspective, or see things from a spiritual perspective, um, instead of a physical one. A lot of times that can make a big difference on how you respond to whatever situation is happening at the time. So, as always, be grateful for what you have, the blessing, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact it could have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.